So this is the path that we took down Tecumseh Road for this video. The picture makes it look like I'm going west to east. The video is actually shot east to west because it was me actually going home from doing some work over at my mom's house for her. What you are seeing here is me turning onto Tecumseh Road off of Forest Glade Drive. This area here has a wonderful path. Unfortunately, my camera mount was being difficult, so the camera kind of kept spinning a little bit on the bumps. I had to keep correcting it. You may have noticed that in previous videos as well. Well, you don't get to see how bad the traffic is on Tecumseh Road, which is kind of what I was hoping to show why it's not safe to drive on. And right here with what you can see, it looks reasonable, but this is actually a proper designated shared pathway up until this point, where I should technically contemplate going on the road, but no, not safe. Not safe for me or the cars, honestly. That's what it's about for me. You'll now discover I've gotten to a point where it's a lot of busy traffic and people coming out of parking lots. And people coming out of parking lots don't always like to obey the rules. Going through there with a lot of pedestrian crossings isn't great either. I also do want to mention that this video is at 4 times the speed. There wasn't anything overly eventful on this trip really to play it at regular speed or anything like that, make it worthwhile. It'd just be really long with me finding ways to ramble on for about 30 minutes. Now, according to Google Maps, this bike ride, I believe it said, should take about 27 minutes, and based on my camera film time, took about 32. And part of the reason for that is I ride slower on the sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk, I'm sharing it with people, I need to ride slower. You have to respect the people that are on the sidewalk. That's just the way it is. The other reason I was not going that fast is, like I said, there are a lot of parking lots through here, and through some of these sections, man, you just don't want to be going at top speed and then having to jam on the brakes. It's a friggin' bloody nightmare, man. Not fun at all in the slightest bit. And then, yeah, this is just kind of, hey, moving along, singing a song. Like I said, it's kind of boring. That's why I sped it all up. This section's not too bad to go through until you hit this part again. You get some parts where you get a little bit of a run on the sidewalk. This section's really nice on the sidewalk. There's not too many driveways through here. A lot of larger kind of business locations that are set back. That there was trying to, I didn't want to jump right off the curb because I'm getting too old for that shit. And I shouldn't have to either, so I just slowed down to go around the girl as carefully as possible because she had headphones in. I could see she had headphones in, so there wasn't, I didn't want to scare the shit out of her kind of thing. Along here, you got a lot of the cannabis stores. They've got people that walk the sidewalk, spinning signs and that, trying to draw in attention. And you'll see another one that comes up a little bit later on down the line here. You can see that there isn't really a lot of space on the road there. Like, there at that light while I was going past, you can see there's not a lot of space to properly share Tecumseh Road with cyclists. There isn't. And this is why I really think the city of Windsor either needs to do the proper modifications necessary to put in a proper bike lane, or they've got to acknowledge that other things are going to have to be done to get around it. Because unfortunately, when really this Tecumseh Road really should have a bike lane, they need to put one in. Right now, with the way the road is designed, there is no way to put one in without losing a lane of traffic. Realistically, about the only way to do it would be to put the bike lane down the center of the road, and that's a horrible idea. Horrible idea. Which means they would now have to take away sidewalks. Now, and then you see how close some of these businesses are to the road and stuff like that. The amount of work that would have to go into putting a bike lane in is just absolutely insane. The problem is they don't have any good off-road designated ways either, because the way they broke up the city of Windsor when they originally designed it, because of the train tracks that ran through the city, you don't get proper straight, like I can't go to one street over and then just keep riding straight up, because that one street over keeps cutting out on it. I've tried mapping every way through, and the amount of alternate roads I have to take just to avoid using the main street in the city is absolutely asinine. As a matter of fact, that will be the follow-up to this video, is I will do a follow-up video to show all the alternate routes and how much extra time it actually adds to my trip. In some ways. In other ways, it takes some out. But all the extra time it takes to add to my trip to do this exact same route, but not use but not use the main route, not use this Tecumseh Road. No advertising here. It's really funny that I get stopped at this corner and you're going to see the Golden Arches for so long, because I don't ever go there. I've been to that eating establishment once in the last 6 years, and it was up in Montreal to go see Ramstein. We stopped to get breakfast in the morning. That was it. That's the only time I have stepped foot in one of those in 5 years, and that was just because my son wanted to go. I would have went somewhere else. I don't support too many of the fast food chains anymore. I decided to go more with the independent. If I want a burger, there's some good independent burger places in the city that I'd rather go to. They might cost a little bit more, but they taste a hell of a lot better. And then this area here, could be safe to put in a bike lane, a proper bike lane. There is enough space to do it. The problem is this area also still relies on street parking, and it's either a bike lane or it's street parking. You can't have both. There's not enough room for both of them there. I love this area of town now that they've really worked on rejuvenating it. Through most of the 80s and 90s, this area of town looked like crap. Well, we'll say the 80s definitely. It started going through a bit of a renaissance in the 90s. Then it totally stagnated. And then it just, in the last 10 years, started cooling again. Anyways, yeah, we're getting close to the end of the trip here. Those are some of the train tracks I was telling you about that run through the city. That specific line causes a lot of issues, actually. And there we go. We're done. Almost. I thank you for joining me for this journey. I know this one wasn't exciting. Realistically, Windsor has some great cycling spots, and I do plan on exploring more and showing some more of the nicer ones. It just so happens that with where I've moved to in recent years, like when I used to live on the East End, my mom lives out on the East End, an area called Forest Glade. So I grew up in the Forest Glade. That area has some more interesting bikeways through there, and it was set up a little more kind of pedestrian friendly. It lost its pedestrian friendliness in the 90s big time, late 90s into the early 2000s. Like as a kid growing up in Forest Glade, we could easily play hockey, road hockey, no problem. We did. We even were able to play road baseball in the late 80s, early 90s, and on one of the streets I lived on as a kid. And we could do it no problem. There was no cars, or very few cars around. It was a non-issue. In video footage I've got that I didn't show, going down Forest Glade Drive, and I didn't want to show a lot of Forest Glade because I don't need a dox where the hell my mom lives. But going down streets in Forest Glade Drive, you can see there are ample numbers of cars on the road, and every last one of the driveways in Forest Glade can hold 2, if not 3 cars comfortably. In some cases, they can do 2 wide. Like when I said 2 to 3, I mean 2 to 3 lengthwise. some of them can do 2 to 3 lengthwise as well as 2 wide, so it is ridiculous. There's absolutely no excuse for anybody at all to park on the road as far as I'm concerned, other than they just don't want to be lazy about having to pull cars out and switch them around, which that annoys me because my mom did that, my grandparents did that, people did that. They're so pathetically lazy now when they have to park on the road for that reason. I can't excuse it. Give the roads back to the road hockey players, man. This is Canada, right? Right? Am I right? I'm right. Give the road back to the hockey players. Okay, folks, I'm done. I've said enough on this particular episode. This back half is running almost as long as the front part did. Okay, folks, comments below. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the music. That is from Project Zero Hour Prototype. If you click on Patreon, you can get over there, and if you subscribe, you can download the music there. Look at that. Really cool, right? Like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications, join button, follow button if you are on Rumble. Peace, love, take care.